Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mounties Midweek. I'm Drew Patrick. On this episode, we go players only and preview homecoming weekend. Plus, we break down sprint football's Luma victory and women's soccer's first win on the year. The sprint football team took on St. Thomas Aquinas last Saturday for their annual Luma game. The Mountaineers struck first as the Spartans were punting and, right through the wickets into the end zone. Mansfield on top 2-0. Ensuing kickoff, Terrence Quaker catches it at the 30-yard line and just turns on the speed, and he can kiss everyone hello, goodbye, thank you, and good night. The Mounties were up 10-0 after the 2-point conversion. Second quarter now, Colby Peacock, quick play action to Butler, rolls out and fires this one to Jaden Walker in the end zone, and the score now 17-0. Later in the quarter, Peacock, feeling pressure, rolls out to his left, steps back, and just fires this one down, and John Rogers somehow snuck behind the entire defense, and Mansfield was up 24-0. 24-6 was the score at halftime. Third quarter now, Mansfield second and goal. Quickly, Colby Peacock lowers the shoulder and lowers the boom into the end zone for the 31-6 lead after the extra point. Mansfield would go on and win by that score. The Mountaineers improved to 2-1 on the season. They take on Alderson Broaddus this weekend for homecoming. Mansfield University football announced that senior Dante Teresi will be honored with the 2019 Frank Butsko Memorial Award. The award will be presented at the annual Butsko Breakfast on Saturday, October 5th, prior to kickoff against Alderson Broaddus. Awarded annually, the Frank Butsko Award is the most prestigious honor that can be bestowed upon a Mountaineer football player. The award is named after former assistant coach Frank Butsko, who was killed in an automobile accident during a recruiting trip. The 3-year member of the Mountaineer Sprint program, Teresi has been a leader on the offensive line through his time at Mansfield. The Havertown, Pennsylvania native was named the most improved player following the 2017 season and was voted second team All-CSFL honors in 2018. Teresi was also named team captain prior to the start of this season. The women's soccer team had 2 matches this past week. The first one on Wednesday, they took on the number 6 team in the country, the Westchester Golden Rams, and the Rams, they got the better of the Mountaineers, winning that contest by a score of 4-0. Stephanie Moir had 13 saves in the contest. The Mountaineers then looked to get their revenge on the Rams, but a different kind of Rams, the Shepherd Rams, as they traveled down to Shepherdtown, West Virginia. The second half tied with no score. The corner kick gets past the first line, and Sierra Austin cleans it up and hits it into the back of the net. Mansfield would go up 1-0 and win by that score. Stephanie Moir added 11 saves, and the Mountaineers' next matchup is Wednesday as they travel to Millersville before traveling to Kutztown this Saturday. The field hockey squad had a non-conference road trip this past weekend. They traveled down to Frostburg, Maryland. The home squad, Frostburg State, was the first opponent, and Mansfield laid down the hammer, scoring 6 goals in the game and outshooting Frostburg State 34-3. Kaylin Duke had her first and second goals of her career early in this game. The team still in Frostburg on Saturday faced Lindenwood University. The Lions would score first, but the Mountaineers came charging out in the second half, and they win the contest by a score of 3-1. Dana Evans continued to collect goals on the year, scoring her 10th and 11th goal of the season. The Mountaineers officially start conference play Wednesday as they travel to Mercyhurst before coming back home to take on defending national champion Shippensburg University. With this week being homecoming week, Mansfield will honor the brand new Hall of Fame members. Cross country and track and field's Brene Edwards, men's basketball's Tommy Harvey, football's Walt Hartsum and Don Meghan, as well as the 1983-84 men's basketball team will be inducted into the Mansfield University Alumni Athletic Hall of Fame. The 2019 Alumni Athletic Hall of Fame induction dinner will be held on Friday, October 4th at 7 p.m. in North Manzer Hall as part of Homecoming Weekend 2019. The ceremony in its entirety will be broadcast live on Mountie All Access. Let us take a look at what else is coming up this week for Mansfield Athletics. Don't you go anywhere. Much more on the other side of the break.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
Welcome back here to Mounties Midweek. Let's talk field hockey now, as we have two of the captains here with us as we prepare for homecoming week. It's Caitlin Beauduy and Meghan Griffin. Thank you both so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
So let's talk about this past week, a bit of a road trip, but not that that's any news for you guys. I feel like most of your road trips have been long road trips this year, but a non-conference back-to-back stint. What were some of the keys to the success you guys had down there?
We've really been working on crisp ball movement and making sure we're in control of the game and focusing on how we play and dictating the game instead of having others dictate it instead.
We've been really working on creating space for ourselves and playing off of the space that we do have and manipulating like this space.
What sort of like comfortability level are you guys now in? Because I mentioned that literally every road trip you have made thus far in the year has not been a short road trip for you guys. Are you now comfortable with that and the fact that that's not going to bother you? You got another one coming up this week, which we'll get to, but that comfortability factor with those long road trips, where are you guys?
I think for the most part, at least the 4 years I've been here, long road trips haven't affected us too much. The bus sucks, but it doesn't get to us too much. We get there in ample time, spend a lot of time in the locker room, take our warm-up pretty seriously, and we're ready to go.
We've been adjusting to the surfaces really well, no matter where it is.
So let's break down those two games game by game, starting with that Frostburg State game. It was a dominant game right from the beginning. What worked in that matchup? Of course, they're kind of a down team, but what were the steps to stay focused and still able to go out there and attack?
We really focused on our offensive movement and our ball passing and speed. So working it from the defensive line through the midline to the forwards, and the forwards making their runs. And it was really advantageous for us. And we worked really hard in our corners this past week, and a bunch of them paid off on Friday.
We've been really working on, as soon as we get the lead, to make sure that we keep on the pressure and keep up the intensity so that we don't lose it.
And then Saturday, had to play a little bit from behind, but were able to come away with a 3-1 victory. Both of you guys on a neutral site, both having to travel. So let's start with that point. The fact that neither team was on their home surface, so to speak. Does that give you guys an advantage, do you feel?
Well, we had played on the surface on Friday against Frostburg, and Lindenwood had not played on the surface yet. We were their first game on Saturday. So it gave us a little bit of an edge having played on the surface, being used to the bumps and the speed of the game. But I think overall, being on a neutral site didn't really make too much of a difference either way.
Yeah, we were able to play on the surface the day before, but that had also mean that we had just played a full game. So I was impressed with our ability to keep up and to make sure that we were moving the ball as effectively as we did.
So that let's transition that into this week. While PSAC play starts, official PSAC play starts. Mercyhurst is the first opponent on Wednesday. Another long bus ride out to Erie, Pennsylvania. But what do you expect in that matchup against a Mercyhurst squad?
Oh, I expect to win. I expect a 3-0 or more game. I expect to dominate. We're going to do really well.
It's definitely going to be a physical game, especially with their recent matchup against IUP. But we've definitely been able to keep our poise in the past, so we're expecting to do the same on Wednesday.
And of course, I guess the only new thing is there's a bit of a new surface now on Mercyhurst. Mercyhurst always had that a little bit of a bumpy surface, and it was hard to get passes and things going. So about how long, normally, when you guys go to a new place and get used to the surface, what is that process to get used to a new surface?
Normally we come out of the locker room. You only have 52 minutes to warm up around there. So we take up until the 40 minutes, the first 10 minutes, we pass around, stick-to-stick passing, just little things, little moves, really get used to the surface, small scale. And then our warm-up is very obviously big scale. We do 5v5 at one point. We practice our corner workouts to make sure that there are no bounces and that we're ready and things like that. So we have the full 52 minutes to get used to the surface.
Honestly, it probably takes us a little bit into the first quarter, just get used to the ball speed and everything, but usually things click pretty quickly.
So if they're really, you guys are 6-2 on the year, a great start to this year. If there was only one thing that was, I guess, in the negative, it has been slow starts in some games. What do you guys have to do to make sure there's not a lapse quickly in the game and you guys are able to come out right from the bell in the new quarter system, which again we'll get to in a second. But what do you have to do to make sure that that's not a reoccurring thing?
We've really stepped up our before field warm up. So in the locker room, we're being much more focused. We have a no phones rule. We're really focused in all on each other, listening to music, hanging out, playing games together, really getting ready for the game. And I think that's helped translate into warm up, which translates right into the start of the game.
Absolutely, just focus from the start.
And then let's talk about that. The fact that Yeah, it is new this year that you guys are playing in quarters. You don't have a half. The coaches don't have a timeout. Well, it's a new atmosphere, I guess, that you guys have to deal with. What has been that transition, especially you guys in your senior year, used to playing in halves and now this switch happening?
I personally really enjoy the quarters. I think it's really helpful to be able to have that little break just to go over things because we don't have timeouts. So that 2 minutes is really when coach is like, all right, these are the adjustments we need to make. These are things you need to focus on. Let's get going. Second quarter. And it just breaks it up a little more so we have smaller amounts of time to focus and it makes us higher intense for those 15 minutes.
It's honestly worked out really well for our team, especially because we've never really had a deep bench. I mean, we have more subs this year, but it's really nice to have those 2 minutes for our starters to catch their breath. And we also sometimes have trouble with coming out in high intensity, so it gives us 2 or 3 chances to be like, all right, like reset, let's do this.
And of course, this weekend, it's homecoming weekend. You two are captains of this team. Homecoming, there's a lot of things extra that goes on, and you guys are the nightcap. So you have all the excitement of the parade in the morning, you then have the football game in the mid-afternoon, and you guys still got to come and play a game against a really tough opponent in Shippensburg. So what do you guys have to do as the captains of this team really to settle the troops and calm them down and help especially the younger players not get lost in the atmosphere that is homecoming?
I think really showing where our focus needs to go is going to be our primary job on Saturday, making sure that we use the enthusiasm throughout the day, like get the parade, the football game, all of the other things to really amp us up and make us want to do the best that we can and come out really hard, but making sure that we're focused that our game is what's the most important to us in the moment of the day.
Well, and the upperclassmen know especially that the matchups against Ship last year were close ones, with us scoring first against Ship at home last year, that like we're all ready for this game and we're all super excited and pumped to like get the win. So I think that the freshmen will fall in after us.
So you guys in your career, you have gotten some wins, but some great wins against ranked teams, but you're still looking for that signature win this year. What is going to be the key against, as we said, the defending national champions in Shippensburg? What is going to be the key to get that signature win?
We're going to have to play every single minute with the highest amount of intensity possible and just making sure we're on point, everyone's in it together, we're all focused, we're all heading towards the same thing, and that nobody takes plays off, and that we're all just ready to go.
Yep. We absolutely have to play as a unit, and there's no lapses that can happen.
Well, thank you both so much for stopping by here.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, thanks.
And Mounties Midweek rolls on after this. Do not go anywhere.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours. the home of Division II college sports.
Welcome back here to Mounties Midweek. Let's continue to preview this homecoming week coming up as we talk sprint football with DJ McLean and David Butler. Thank you both so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
So before we get to this week and before we get to homecoming, let's talk about this past week. Luma night, there was a lot going on and a great performance on the field. What were some of the things that worked for you guys in order to get that win?
I would say that we played our style of football. We focused in, and we just were worried about us going into the game. And I think that we succeeded with that very well.
I think, just this past, 4 weeks, we've gotten better and better each week. And, I think Luma just showed, how much we progressed. And like you said, we just took it one play at a time, played Mansfield football. And, at the end of the game, it showed that Mansfield football is the best football.
So how do you feed off that atmosphere without making it kind of distract you guys on the field? So what do you have to do to, you had a great crowd there that day. So what are the keys to really being able to feed off the crowd but not let it distract you?
Well, we know, we appreciate it a lot. We've gotten a lot of support from the school this year, with the jerseys and, with everyone coming to the game and stuff like that. And we basically use that to fuel us, they're not doing it for any reason. We make sure whatever we do, we dedicate it to the school, dedicate it to the president and stuff like that. And we also have a 24-hour rule. So whether we win or whether we lose, after 24 hours, get out your system next game. So
I would say that just the captains in general, they make sure that we always focus in on the next play and on the next drive and things of that such nature. So we're always on to the next objective, you could say. So that helps us focus more in the game. And
so you guys, both of you sitting here, happen to be on the top of certain career leaderboards. David, you're on top of the rushing record, which just you decided that one game you wanted to completely shatter that. And Derek, you have also been on top and are just continuing to grow that. So what has, for you guys, now that you know that your name is on top, first of all, what has led to that success? And then second of all, what do you have to do to still keep being hungry? Like, yeah, your name's at the top, but obviously you're not done yet. What do you have to do to really stay hungry and keep attacking each week?
I would say, what have I done to get there? I would say that just putting in the work for it, just making sure not missing no lifts, putting in overtime, days that we have still lifting, things of that such nature. And to stay hungry, I would say that we're not done yet. Like, it's more just like, it's more team goals to go on. And if we continue to set records and things of such nature, that's what comes with it. But at the end of the day, we try and win games, and that's the end goal. So,
well, I knew this guy was a star since his freshman year. Caldwell, he scored 4 touchdowns. That's ridiculous. And like you said, just being consistent. We have a lot of guys, come in and out of the school, but it's just being consistent, and your name will show up on the record boards. And I think that's the one thing that we can preach to these guys. Just you can continue to be consistent. Legit, all those records should be shattered every single year. That's all.
And then with that, the fact that you guys are the upperclassmen of this team, and you have a young quarterback. A quarterback that's his first year starting in this league. How important is it for you guys to really be the safety net for this young quarterback, Colby Peacock, to really be effective in your offense?
Well, the thing that makes it so easy is he's so eager to learn. When we found out he became a starting quarterback, that first week, we've had practice, I think, 4 times, and we probably was on the field probably about 5 more times after that. And he was willing to be out there every single time, willing to learn every single time. And every time he makes a mistake, he learns from it. And that's how I said, like, he's gotten 1% better every single day. And you can just tell, like, this week he made passes and things that he did that I didn't even know he could do. And it's like, if he continues to just keep striving like this, I feel bad, honestly, for the last team and the second to last team that we played, because we're rolling right now. So,
I would say he's just a baller. Like, he comes in the huddle, he's confident. never seen him not confident in the huddle. And when you're confident like that, it's just hard for people not to get around you and just follow you. You know, he's a natural leader, and I feel as though it's just. We told him like it's your show. We just here for us to follow it. You know, so.
And then, so we talked about the atmosphere of Luma, but of course this week it's a whole nother ball game with homecoming and expect a raucous crowd there. But so you guys, as the upperclassmen, for the younger players, because there's always a huge contingent of younger players on this squad, so your role becomes that much more important. But to calm the masses, I mean, it's been, I guess, similar because the last couple of weeks have had some sort of other event, but it's the first day game for you guys, and then also you have first home day game for you guys, and you also have homecoming and all the festivities and all that other pregame stuff. What do you have to do to calm the masses and prepare for this game?
I would say dwell on the fact that we already had one day game. Make sure it's the same focus going into the type day game. Like, this is not our first go around with the day game, so I feel as though the only difference is that we're home now. So if anything, that should give us an advantage. And I believe that as a focusing up, it's just like Luma. Everything is just here in front of us. We have to focus on the next play and on to the next, basically.
Yeah, like he said, I think it's honestly going to be a better transition, easier than Luma and the week prior. Only because, you know, when we have Luma and stuff like that, you know, I'm antsy. 9 in the morning, you know, I'm ready to go. And being as though we got a 1 o'clock game, you know, we don't have as much time to fill and, you know, kind of just get going. You know, as soon as 10 o'clock come, you know, we getting our pads on and, you know, we starting to go out. So I think it's an easier transition for these guys, and I think they're going to be ready to go just as much as I am.
The only thing really different, the opponent here, it's their first year in this league, so you really don't have a great idea of what to expect because they're brand new to this league. So how do you go about preparing for a team like Aldous and Brodus?
You know, I preach this every week to the guys. You know, we play Mansfield football at the end of the day. You know, we could put plays in, you know, to beat, you know, this team or that team. But at the end of the day, if we execute and play Mansfield football, I think we can come out against any team. Aldous and Brodus, I give them respect. They got their first win 2 weeks ago. You know, it's not easy to do that. You know, it's really not easy to win. So I definitely give them their respects. But as long as we play Mansfield football, you know, I have no doubt that we'll come out on top.
I agree. I think you just said everything that we possibly say. Just make sure we do our job on our end, and that's all we can control in that game.
So you guys mentioned with homecoming and with preparation for this team. So let's go right into what is going to be the key for Mansfield to get the win on homecoming.
Let's start strong, man. You know, we got a workhorse right here. Let's use it. You know, let's make sure we take advantage of it. Like I said, let's play Mansfield football. Mansfield football is gritty, and we're going to make sure we show them that. We definitely got, you know, the guys to catch the ball. You know, I think we have one of the best receiving corps in the league with John Rogers, Mayan Sage-Ray, and Brandon DeJesus, you know, to complement our run game. And I think we showed that Saturday that, you know, if they want to stack the box and stop David Butler, then we got 5 other guys who can make plays. So, and like the other way, if they want to stay back, then we got a guy who can make a play out of nothing. So that's what I think the game plan is.
I would say the game plan is start fast, execute. Offensively, defensively, I guess you could say, stay aggressive, stay hungry. Them guys on defense, man, they just animals over there, and we go against them every day at practice. So, I mean, that's what really makes us better every day, going against them guys. So, I mean, just stay aggressive and stay hungry.
Absolutely. Your good old iron sharpens iron a mantra. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Mounties Midweek rolls on after this. Do not go anywhere.
court and lane. To lane under the lights or under the sun. No one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub. With exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours. The home of Division II college sports.
Changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
UPMC brings so much to the table. They're just a comprehensive visionary system.
UPMC is innovative and always on the cutting edge of technology.
Defining not only healthcare, but health.
Its expertise, its focus on patients and what is best for patients.
As UPMC, we're able to elevate the standard of care. Just a wonderful opportunity.
Welcome back here to Mounties Midweek. Let's switch gears now and talk women's soccer as we have Sierra Austin and Stephanie Moir in here to the studio. Thank you both so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk about last week, and really the season to start as a whole. I'm sure there were some frustrations to get going, but what were some of the subtle improvements in those first couple of games on the year that you have seen throughout your team and you individually as well?
Definitely getting forward and attacking more. Just shown in our statistics, you can see we've had more and more scoring opportunities as the games have progressed, so that has been huge. Defensively, we've gotten so much better too, with the return of Gabby coming back from her concussion and the return of all the injuries. Hopefully we'll have Chelsea back soon so we can have that solid defense back for us. So that's been huge so far.
Yeah, we've been through a lot, as you can definitely tell, but we've changed, modified and adjusted. So we changed formations, which was a big help. So we were able to be more offensive, like Steph said. And it's working, so we're going to keep going with it.
I mean, and there's a large contingency of freshmen and newcomers to this program. So you guys, as the returning veterans, how important is your role now, especially when there's injuries and these young players have to get important minutes for you guys to really control that group and just reassure that group?
I think having trust as a team has definitely helped us. We're a very close-knit group of girls this year, which is really nice. We all get along. We all support each other. So I think having that support and that open communication with Coach, oh, I'm feeling sick. He's very open about it, which helps us a lot because he's take that extra day if you need it. He's not going to be oh, you're benched for a game. He really cares, so that helps a lot with the freshmen.
We've talked a lot about our culture change. So that's a big thing with our team this year. So basically, we are working together as one, finally, too.
Yeah, I remember last year it started, and this year really, the whole Mansfield 2.0 mantra that you guys really live by. Of course, that has led into, then we traveled down to Shepherd and able to come away with a shutout victory. Sierra, you were able to get that goal in. What did you see? Walk me through that goal and that point. What worked and how did you get it in?
So my goal came off of a corner. So Elenia Gebbia had the corner, and it was a beautiful corner in. Bounced one time in the box. We had 3 girls around it, but skipped back post, which is where I was. And in my head, I was just okay, just place the ball. This is my time to shine. Place the ball. I've been working on it with my dad for years. And it went to the back of the goal, and I was oh my gosh, we just scored.
Absolutely. And Steph, a shutout there. In that game, especially at the very end, just a huge save there at the end. Obviously, when you guys are playing with the lead in a close lead, a 1-0 lead, what is your mindset then in goal? Does anything change, or is it still focus on what is here?
I definitely started to become more vocal. definitely a lot more vocal because it's like a high intense atmosphere. Like we're winning. Like we need to keep the ball out of our half. So basically talking with the defense, keeping them nice and close together, keeping the midfield nice and compact, make sure everybody's marked. So that has like a huge like factor. Like when we're winning, it's like, oh, got to keep them all together.
And how important, because I think a lot of people underestimate that fact of the sport, is how much communication really goes into it, and especially in the goal and on the field. But like, how important is that aspect of your game, and especially the style of play you guys want to play?
It's huge because I can see the entire field. So if our defenders are facing a certain way, they necessarily can't see that a player is running onto their back or their backside. So I just have to like make them aware of it, because without that communication, it just won't be there.
Yeah, we're a passing team. That's what our culture is now. And you got to talk to your teammates. Every little bit of help you can provide for them is the extra effort that we need.
And so let's move that to this week, another couple of tough games. I mean, this conference is just remarkably tough. And the fact that they split the East and the West, and that's a whole nother.
And we got the East.
Yes, we're in the East. So let's start with Millersville coming up this Wednesday. Another trip down to Millersville. What do you expect from that team in that game, and what is going to be the key to be successful?
So from that game, I'm hoping that we can still be as offensive as possible. I find that the better teams that we do play, then we play better. So I think we can step up to the plate, and going off of the win on Saturday, I'm hoping can carry on to Wednesday.
Yeah, especially Millersville right now is undefeated. So if we can score a goal against them, that would be huge. Like just like a mood booster for our team. Like we're coming off a goal, we're coming off a win. Like our team's energy is up there. So if we bring that energy from Shepherd to Millersville, I think that we can stay in the game and hopefully get a win.
And of course, unfortunately, you guys are on the road on Saturday when all homecoming is happening. But against Kutztown, what do you expect in that matchup? That's another very good team. What do you expect on that matchup on Saturday?
So Kutztown, like you said, another great team, like always super organized, great communication. I think it'll be very similar to Millersville. So just depending on how Wednesday goes, I think we'll be able to tell how we are Saturday too.
I think Kutztown could be a winnable game for us. Just looking at what Shepherd did, I think they only lost 1-0 to Kutztown. And if we beat Shepherd, like, we can go out there, and if we do our best, like do our passing patterns, keep our composure, and everybody just stays as a unit, I think that we can score a goal and possibly get a win for that game.
So that confidence, of course, getting the win is extremely beneficial to the confidence of this team. But at the beginning of the year, obviously when things weren't going the way you wanted them to go, what do you guys have to do as the veterans of this group to really reassure everyone and be like, hey, we're still focused on the job that we need to do. We can't get discouraged. What do you have to say to the group?
You got to believe in your teammates. My biggest thing is I was talking to some of the freshmen, and she was like, oh, well, I'm just here right now because we have an injury. I'm like, no, you're here because you're meant to be here. You signed up for this, and coach put you on the field because he believes in you, and your teammates believe in you. So it's a lot of like family community that we need on the team.
Yeah, definitely the communication, like Sierra was talking about, is huge. Like if a player gets down, all the upperclassmen are there to pick them right up. We're like, you can do this. Like keep your head up. Just focus on the next step. You make one mistake in a play, okay, make up for it in the next one. It's just recovering after every mistake that you make, and we just pick each other up. That's really important.
So Sierra, you have been here through the previous regime as well, and have seen really the growth and the family aspect, because that's a lot of what you guys talk about, the family growth. What truthfully is the difference in the culture that you have seen in your time here at Mansfield?
A ton of difference. So it is remarkable. I'm so impressed with how our program has changed over my 3.5 years being here. So my freshman year, it was just kind of like, the freshmen hung out with the freshmen, the sophomores with the sophomores, and so on. But now it's like we are all together. It's not by class. It's not by starters and subs. Nope, we are a team. Like we are here together.
And then just, I guess, in the last couple of years, what have you seen that has changed, even in just that 1 year from Coach Schaefer getting that interim tag removed. What changes have you seen in your time here, Steph?
Definitely formation-wise and passing patterns and everything, and the competition. I feel like the competition drives our players the most. Like, there's somebody there to take your spot if you make a mistake, if you don't hold yourself accountable for those mistakes and stuff like that. And it's just, it helps drive everybody on the team. So I feel like that there's more of a passion, and the addition of Coach Tease has really helped us a lot. Him working with the goalies has been awesome. So everything's just been slowly building, and it's just going to continue building, especially with the new freshmen coming in.
Absolutely. Headed in the right direction, this program, 100%. Well, thank you so much for stopping by here.
Thank you for having us.
And Mounties Midweek rolls on after this. Do not go anywhere.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours. The home of Division II college.
Of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
It is now time for Play of the Week. Last week we had a field hockey against football matchup, and based on your votes, and it was a close vote, this was your winner. This week we have a football versus football matchup. We start Saturday down in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and the Mansfield Mountaineers get the go-ahead goal off of the toe of Sierra Austin. That's the only goal of the game, and the Mountaineers come away the 1-0 winner against Shepherd. Play number 2 comes from sprint football. After a safety, the ensuing kickoff, and Bob Michaels on the call.
We're going to be fielded at the 29-yard line. It's a burst of speed up the middle to the far sideline, and a kickoff return.
You can vote for which one of these plays is your pick for Play of the Week, and results will be revealed next week. That's going to do it for this show. Make sure to stay up to date on all things Mansfield Athletics by heading over to GoMounties.com. We will see you next week.